Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the swissbianco 95mm Swiss multi-tool. We have now the good news that the first hand samples are shipping, so we should get them relatively soon here in USA in stock, so we can start testing and see what is all in the quality department and in the manufacturing all good. Of course there will be always some little changes, quite likely. We're gonna see how far we did go, but one thing for sure, it's as far as we ever did go, and I'm really happy that we could reach that, and to all of those who did help by reaching that goal, thanks a lot. Now, for those people that doesn't know, the 95mm from swissbianco will be a big step in the future of the Swiss Army knife or Swiss multi-tool, however you wanna call it. We have a departure in the design and in the manufacturing. Design wise, it's a modular system, so you can change and swap out the parts from the front side to the back side, from left to right, relative easy in most cases. It's a screw together design, which means that not everybody, but pretty much everybody can take the knife apart, be it for cleaning, complete cleaning, be it for replacing parts. We're gonna sell spare parts, like say the main blade, of course. If you for whatever reason have a blade that is not longer serviceable, you can change that blade then yourself. Another point is, of course, the wood saw. The wood saw, as you know, is not easy to resharpen. Once the wood saw is dull on the traditional designs, you are pretty much stuck with it, because the traditional designs are riveted, and people at home can take it apart, and there are no spare parts from the factory in that regards anyhow. So it's going to be way easier. Typical example in Switzerland back then was as people dropped the knife by accident in some fluid, quite likely possible in a fluid like a tea with sugar in it, and then the Swiss Army knife, the Swiss multi-tool, did completely freeze up, stuck with that crud, and you had the hardest time to get that out. Often you had to send it to the factory to get it cleaned, and this will be one of the points of the past. So it's going to be way easier for the end user. Also, of course, if you want to customize it, if you want to put different scales on it, and different tools as well, so that's going to be way more easy for I would say most of you out there. Then from the manufacturing standpoint, as we look, we back then did upgrade to Damas steel for at least some models of the Swiss Army knife. I was heavily involved back then to get that started. Damas steel, Damascus steel, that is a powder metallurgically made steel in Sweden, back then relative new. I'm talking quite some many years back now. So that was a brand new thing. Back then the people tried to recreate Damascus steel, forgotten historical form of a pattern welded steel, and for me the dream was to put that in a Swiss Army knife, and of course we did reach that back then as today with the help of Mr. Elsener from Victorinox. So that quality of the steel, the Dama steel, the powder metallurgical made steel, is of course the highest quality that was so far used on Swiss Army knives. The price of course was too high too, and for many not reachable, be either by the price or by the limited availability. Those are collector's pieces basically. So we gonna use a higher grade steel, and of course over time we gonna use different qualities of high quality steel that are way better quality wise than the regular steel that is used nowadays in any of the Swiss Army knives, the regular Swiss Army knives or Swiss multi-tools that you have around. This is badly needed because we have now 2025. Swiss Bianco is 30 years in business, and after the Blade Show in June, I celebrate my 10th anniversary of the US citizenship. So the time for a departure and the time for a upgrade, a really big change in that system was badly needed. Also, the manufacturing methods are of course completely different than it is still basically today by the regular models. They are using stamped parts, and the quality of the A-locks is unfortunately relatively low because that part gets stamped out and then cold pressed into a shape. So we have the A-locks scales in that regards. A side note to that is that we still don't have the small parts by the A-locks. With my design we're gonna have the small parts with the A-locks. So that problem, that difference between a regular A-locks and a Celidor or a nylon scaled version gonna be gone as well, and upgraded in a correct fashion. Then the A-locks, because they start with a lower grade of aluminium, basically like back then in the 60s, 70s as that did start, can't hold hard anodizing as well as it would be like with a 60, 65 or a 75 series of aluminium. Of course the technology did go ahead over the years a lot. That was back then the reason why the Swiss military did leave the red anodized Swiss Army knives for a silver, a natural aluminium color, because the red coloring back then did simply not hold up. You can see that on my videos as well. Of course nowadays the quality in that regards got better too, but the problem is if you start with a lower grade of aluminium, you're not gonna get a hard surface as you would with the mentioned 65, 75 grade aluminium. So basically you are hampered and from start, and you can't upgrade that easy. That is by the manufacturing process, as I did try to tell you here on that video. So our scales are made out of a high quality aluminium, a modern aircraft grade aluminium, and CNC machined instead of cold, I would not say forged, but cold pressed into a shape. So we start with a higher quality material with a higher quality hard anodizing, and that just lead to a way better, more modern quality product. It is how it is. The technology over the years did simply go ahead. This is also true for the blades. The blades are not stamped, they are cut in a different way and then machined, CNC machined to a higher quality. We also gonna use a laser engraving instead of a stamping. Each time you stamp a steel, or if you make a indentation on the steel, that basically could create a trouble on a problem on the steel, on the quality of the steel. So we rather etch a bit on the surface away with the laser engraving. There will be, of course, the year stamp on it, another feature that from the past that unfortunately is gone by now for many years, other than the Swiss Army knives, the 111mm, that are still in the use of the Swiss military. But for civilian sales, the year stamp did basically go away 99% completely. So we're gonna bring that back. That is for us important in that regard, that we also see what year that particular knife was made. It's also important for the collectors, so that they, if they wish to, they can start again the typical Swiss collection style, that you have the knife with each year stamp. Say you like a certain model, you get that model every year with a different stamp, and that is how many back in the day at least did collect Swiss Army knives. I was one of them, and that is gonna come back too, because the whole system is modular. I can't stress enough that how important that is, that you can change then the scales, as an example, out yourself too. We're gonna sell scales in different variations, so if you want to have a two-tone knife, knife on the scales, that is possible too. You are pretty flexible to do that. And about the warranty and all that, as long as you don't grind or alter the knife in a more substantial way, that should not be a problem with us at all. We see how far that goes, and in time we gonna update that as well. So yeah, to the packaging, we're gonna use a clear see-through packaging. One of the disadvantages of the regular packaging is that you have a hard time seeing what the knife is in it, the size, the color, the variation of knife. We want to go away with that. We're gonna use a clear see-through packaging, so as a basic packaging, so that you see firsthand through the clear see-through material. It's not a blister, it's just a square tubing kind of packaging, what is in it, what color, what model. And on the outside there will be, of course, a sticker on it on one side with the brand, the information, and the website, and quite likely a QR code, so that we don't need to include a manual. I mean, most of you know how to use a Swiss style multi-tool anyway, and we're gonna have a video on how to use it online, so the QR code in our days will help you more, that you can simply scan that in and check the video on that matter. So how it's going on from now, we have now end of March 2025. The samples should arrive relative soon, and I would say within a week or so, then the test goes on. I will also make a video and explain a bit more in what direction the whole matter goes. Then those samples gonna be exhibited at the Blade Show in Atlanta in June. We have there our usual booth, number 625 at the Blade Show. We exhibit there since 1999. It's by now a long time, one way or another. And if you are at the Blade Show, please stop by, visit our booth, and have a look for yourself on that exciting new swissbianco 95mm Swiss multi-tool. So after that we will gather, of course, some feedback from the end user. We're also gonna have a way to register for more information directly at the show and then on the website as well. So once the product is in stock, ready for shipping, that you can get informed about it. Then the serial production gonna start. First run gonna be about 600 pieces. How it looks for now, we may be able to upgrade to 800 or 1000, we see. So it's of course more of a limited edition after all, still, especially since we start, you know, it's a brand new product, a brand new start in that regards, and I hope that you all gonna be part of that new beginning, of that new start, that you test it out and give us feedback, and then it takes a while for the serial production, for the testing, for the packaging and all that. So it's quite likely gonna be I would say February, March next year that the product actually is in stock and ready for shipping. That is how that is. Once that is here, it's gonna smooth out a bit easier with the production. Hopefully by then the whole situation in the world did calm down a bit too, and we have a bit more peace and less war. So it's going to be interesting either way how it's going to be, but I hope we can smooth out the whole situation a bit and get going. If you are a dealer in a country outside of USA, Canada, Austria, for that matter, England maybe, then by all means contact us if you are interested to carry the swissbianco line. Just send me a message on the contact form of the swissbianco website, then we figure it out. If you are at the blade show, again, by all means stop by the swissbianco booth. 625 is the number, and there we can talk it out as well. So yeah, while it still took quite a while, many years to get to that point, I wanna just point out that it is absolutely not easy to make such a product from the start to the end, especially with the current situation or all the difficulties that we had in the past. I don't want to go too deep in all those molesson, but I could quite likely talk for 5 days straight to tell you all the problems and the stories about that. But nevertheless, we are here. We make it happen. We are still here. We gonna make it happen, and that is the positive outlook, the positive attitude that you need to have with such a product, and we're gonna make it happen, and that is one of the main goals in my life, and it's gonna happen. So that much about the update of the 95mm swissbianco Swiss multi-tool.